Hello world, I'm Nom Nom Nom, and today we're going to play the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I literally just started up the game, I haven't changed any settings around yet, so we're going to do that right now. The first option here is picking screen and subtitle language. Okay, let's go ahead and do English. Confirm. Have you played Stanley Parable before? I have, actually. So, I guess we'll plus this part here. Please adjust slider until the computer is barely visible. It's barely visible. Okay. Please enter the current time. Can't you figure that out already, game? Like, okay, 7 is 7:13 p.m. right now. No accessibility can be accessed from me. Alright, cool. I don't recall the last time a game asked me to set the time. It must be like a meta thing, right? Because I know the previous game had achievements for fucking around with the time. Alright. This actually feels kind of loud for me. So I'll set this to... Let's do 80. Okay. For this... Do I want full screen? Apply resolution. Resolution. Well, that's very helpful. Res by res. Thank you, game. Oh, wow. Didn't know. Okay, and that's literally all the settings. Control scheme. Crouch. Good. Left control for crouch. Based. Not C like other games. Okay. Field of view, 72. That is my preferred field of view, actually, for vertical resolution. Yeah. For vertical field of view, yeah. I'm glad the game... I don't think it remembered that, actually, because it's like a new engine, so... Now it's their default pick, then. Very based for them to pick 72, then. Okay, accessibility... We'll stick with the standard stuff, I think. Okay. Alright. Time to begin.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
No, see a problem with
No one
that.
had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
That sounds amazing,
Never
actually.
in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
That sounds like
Something
heaven,
was
dude.
very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
But first, he adjusted the audio for the game. Let's do 70 now. It's a bit loud for me. 427. And then he messed around with the sensitivity settings. That's what Stanley did. Mouse sensitivity, How is that different from camera sensitivity? I don't understand the difference. Man, I'm in one of those awkward sections where 4 is a little too low, but 5's a little too high. I guess I'll just get used to 5. I don't know if I can actually hold up. No. I'll get used to 4. Yeah. Huh. I hate on days. Okay. Yeah. Does it still have the achievement for jumping?
All of his
yes,
co-workers were
it still
gone.
does.
What could it mean?
There's an
Stanley
achievement for the
decided
first
to go to
achievement
the
also.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, can't read that now, can't.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Perfect. Let's see, I like words, work. I just hate my boss. Okay. I wish I could see what exactly was on the screens. Look at this poor guy. All he has is a pencil sharpener. Who farted? Ooh, 420. Blaze it.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Hold on, buddy. Just seeing if this changed a little bit since the last time I played it. That's all. Ooh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, we'll follow the instructions for now to get the normal ending. I wonder. I told the game I already played it though, so is it gonna be the normal ending?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The hell type of fucking meeting table is this? You can see under it? Oh yes. That's exactly what I do, stare at my coworker's crotch while I'm at work, yeah. Everyone is unique. Teenagers, size of demographic, space between the teenagers, a lot of...
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Got some duct tape here, wrench. There's a HEPA filter there. Let's see, got broom.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Pliers. I don't know, looks pretty interesting to me. I think it's net.
It was baffling
Nice.
that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
You don't want to curse, huh? Let's see. Actually, what was this tubing here?
Are you really still in the broom closet?
I'm counting the
Standing around
polygons.
doing nothing?
I'm not standing, I'm crouching.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I just want to see if the graphics improved at all. That's it. Is this the same asset from the original game? Looks like it. I mean, it's just a broom closet. They probably...
realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
I'm making
If
a
I'd said
choice.
Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
I'm curious to see what's on the top shelf,
I never would
though.
have thought to mention it.
What if I jumped? Oh yeah, I can't jump in this game.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching
I
path.
bet there's like an Easter egg
Maybe
up here.
when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, Did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite. I hope your friends find this concerning.
Nah, my friends would be totally on board with this. I think this is interesting.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He
How dare
probably
you?
got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Ah,
That or
jeez.
with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Well, I can't argue with that part. Okay.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Fine, we'll
In a
leave.
situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care
I'm out of the closet
before it
now.
begins to decompose.
Wait.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead.
You know what?
They have fallen prey to any... Coming to a staircase,
take what I said,
walked
however you
upstairs
want.
to his boss's office.
Let's just stick to the script right now. This does look a little bit nicer than the Source Engine version. The beige pages. Is this going on? No. Big doors.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Yep, no way for me to know that. I remember there was an achievement in the first game for 8, though. Let's see.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input
8.
anything on the device was
Yes, I
useless,
got it.
since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I got the achievement, boys. Let's go.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input
fuck.
the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Poggers.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Going down. Lol, loading screens.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ah, shit.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, we gotta stick to the script. This is the first playthrough. Stick to the script. Even though I deviated a little bit. Let's... We'll fuck around later. We'll fuck around later.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret
Ooh,
did
they're
this
widescreen
place
too.
hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own
Why aren't
life
these TVs
in
just like
someone
all
else's
lopsided?
control? Never.
Pirate. What
it
the
was
hell?
unthinkable.
What?
Wasn't it?
There's a TV
was
that
it
says
even
pirate.
possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored
Where's
and
the button for
commanded from
horny?
this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Mind control idle. Awaiting input. Okay. I wish I could read that. Alright. Ah.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Why is this door so fucking slow?
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yay, we did it, guys. We finished the game. Yeah, I got the achievement for beating the game. Alright. Now time to really check the game out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sure, let's take a look.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth
Oh,
admiring.
drinks.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That'll probably kill me. Let's see. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift. Penalty for jumping off cargo lift.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Let's see. Where is she?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
Who the hell still uses landlines?
Chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another.
Spoiler alert.
Fade to white.
We didn't get to that ending yet.
Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I'm a real boy.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or
Let's get going, come on.
The severity of the situation. Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
No.
Choice.
No.
It's the best part of being a real person.
I don't want to go to school.
But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice.
Who the hell's
he could invent a
still
machine
named
that
Rupert?
eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read.
Tough choice.
Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real.
I wish.
Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant.
Thanks.
And the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back.
What the fuck?
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okie dokie. Where to now? I guess we have to get back on here.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Me neither. I need a key card.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Will I? Let's see.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I already went to the left door, though. I want to see what's over here.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Just changed a little bit.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that?
It wasn't that good of a story
What did you think was
anyway.
so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
Oh boy.
I have to.
Oh no! Oh, I think this is new.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it?
Nope.
That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been
I seen
victorious.
it. We're
It
good.
would have been so perfect.
Chill.
I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nah.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly
Okay,
as
rule
Stanley
3. I'll do it
would.
one more time.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We'll do it one more time. One more time.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
All right.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let me go ahead and adjust the volume a little bit. Do 75. Happy meeting.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It's locked off now. The boss's office is a little different now. Oh.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Wait, can he actually speak? I am the most expensive boss. Let me just check, see if... Let me look at all he's paying first.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
Hold on, I'm
he
just
spoke it
taking...
into the receiver, right
I'm
there
just
on the wall.
taking in all the details right now, okay.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115?
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you...
I'm trying to interact. It's not working.
Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through
Yeah,
the
we
door.
got to the end.
Are you listening to me?
We did it.
Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
We got to the credits.
Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait.
It's nice that we still have support from Valve on this project.
Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
I wonder if there's any more dialogue. Oh, nope. Never mind. Okay, that was our ending. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's go ahead and go through that, ooh, new content. Poggers.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
This better not be a trap.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
I guess that's what the whole, like, if you played Stanley Parable thing was for. I'm guessing you would have done more loops at the very beginning to get to the new content, had you not been familiar with the game already. That's, like, I'm guessing, yeah, I think we did, what, we got 2 endings in, right? We got the normal ending, and we got that glitched out ending, supposedly. And now we have access to the new content section. So, yeah, my assumption is that if you never played the game before and you said you didn't, it'll just wait for you to restart the game a few more times before you get to here.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
This better be exciting. I paid $16 for this.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
I hope this isn't a debate. There's gonna be a gigantic middle finger saying "fuck you, thanks for the money."
Impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
It's kind of barren in here.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh, Pog! We can jump now. This is so innovative. After 9 years of begging, they finally gave us the ability to jump. Amazing. Huh. 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 Woo. We did it. Oh no, we can't jump anymore. Oh. Oh, I enjoyed it while it lasted.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Well, what, jumping
If this
isn't
is new
exciting to you?
content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Keep dry, okay. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game?
Sage.
And we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Sage. Wood. Oh.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Hold on. Let me just check to see if there's anything here. Plus, it's kind of sussy. Just saying. Alright, well, we'll follow his lead for now, since it's all new content at this point, so might as well follow the script. Even though, technically, everywhere I go is following the script. Technically. We're following the A script here. Okay, let me turn on my face light here.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Hog. Little coffee machine there. This is nice.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
This is very nostalgic, this style. The Last of Us. Good one. Ah, 2013. Our first kiss, my first car. The release of Stanley Parable in 2013. The fuck's this thing on the side? What type of extension is this? Clicks? I don't know. I think I was using Chrome a lot back then. I switched over to Firefox now, though. Good times. Memory lane. A vinyl. The Stanley Parable demonstration. Oh, was there a demo? I didn't play that one. Possible. Some people got this achievement somehow. I got this achievement. I literally like didn't touch the game for 5 years, and I realized one day, oh yeah, it's been 5 years. Let me reinstall this thing. Nominee. BAFTAs. New video game releasing today. The New York Times? What? Colleges show uneven effort to enroll poor. Creators surprisingly down to earth. Rutgers goes from scandal to new crisis. Business leaders pushing elections of council allies. Okay. Los Angeles Times. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Okay, we can take a seat. Here. Is this DMCA?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
Ah, yes, Destructoid.
James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
The tasteful, nostalgic. It was good. Oh, the Minecraft section. I wonder if that's still available in the game. I think... Yeah, because now Microsoft owns Minecraft, so I don't think it's in the game. Portal there. It's here. Maintenance. Person of the year. The hell? Who's the hell is this person? Your number is 29.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Carpet textures. Repeatable carpet textures. Ready for your game project. And asset collection back in the past has been like really shitty. Like nowadays it's like really easy to just pull up any sort of textures and, you know, buy any sort of license for them really easily with all the tools we have now. But back then you had to fucking buy CDs full of them? Yeah. I'm pretty sure in 2013 they didn't have to do this, but in the 90s they definitely had to do that. Serious room? Yo, how do I get in the serious room? Is this open? If only I still had access to jumping. Okay. Guess my only option is to walk back out, huh?
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
Steam reviews.
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Steam reviews. It's like a junkyard. What do we have over here?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually
you're
quite
narrator,
shocking for me.
not preachy.
I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
See, I guess we have to go this way now. What's this review?
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record.
Whoa, what's going on?
Positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
An actual fucking button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture.
this
it
part.
went on for nearly 10,000 years,
until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime.
All right.
It can't be. It's the only thing there is.
Time to skip.
How many billions?
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made
I wonder if
said
he'll
choice.
have anything
That
to
is to
say.
say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly
Mr.
run
Steam,
out and
John
implement a
Steam.
new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more
I wonder if these are like
beneficial.
actual legit
Something
reviews.
along the lines of,
Also.
this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all
Annals.
media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest,
even I
most
can't.
ambitious visions.
Let's keep going.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go?
That's what I was
Wasn't there a
wondering.
door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere?
It's like we're in The Sims and someone removed the door.
Sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall
There
until
isn't a
enough
sprint
damage
button in
is
this
done
game.
for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another.
I don't think there's a door here, buddy.
I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button.
Okay.
Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Stop.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
And you
You've just
haven't
been
found a
frozen
door.
there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
And you had 12 hours to find one.
I checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you?
I don't have anything else to do.
Thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child. Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself.
Me neither.
I can't... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
Oh,
Stanley,
shit.
I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time.
And there's
just
still no
sitting
door,
here,
huh?
Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed.
Okay, you're getting really needy now, buddy.
Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment
Okie dokie.
I have.
Just come on. Did we outlive the narrator? Well, guess I'll skip time. Ah, fuck. I don't even have a ladder to get to that thing. Well, if a fire goes off here, we're fucked. Let's hope there isn't a fire then.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us.
How do you get
It
back?
wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing.
I wonder if this is like a dead end. Do we have to restart the game from here now? Or... just give me back the door.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Oh. That's new. Well, the plumbing's fucked here now. I'm wonder if we'll drown in the next skip. Ah, it's eroded. Excellent. You just have to wait for an entire building to erode. Ah. No, the ladder. Okay, one more skip. I think we might need another skip. Oh. That doesn't look good. I think there's a zombie apocalypse going on out there now. Let's skip through this part then. Aha! Are we in Dune now? Where the fuck do we go now? Nope. Oh, that was an ending. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wonder if there's any other new content available. New content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Hog.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Investor showcase. Taste sequel.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
What we need now is some DLC. And a battle royale of skins. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old and busted. New highs. Boring sections of the chart. Cool red section of the chart. More TSP. Better TSP. Win-win. Sequential mindshare. Synergy. The color red leverage. Holistic value. 2 ferns. Wow. They're using Max? Huh.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them.
Makes
It'll all
sense.
work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Sounds like something DICE and EA would say. Show new features. New content.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Exclusive. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Wow. Hear your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
One that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Try it here. Alright. Moment of truth.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Okay.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
My name's Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes, you see?
Yes.
What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
Wait, what?
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you
No, no.
actually are.
Let me get
Jim.
let me get some more Jims in. Oh.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
You heard Jim in the game. Enjoy the new features. No screenshot. A whole new ray traced. The baby's all grown up. Okay. There should have been an achievement for pressing the screenshot button. Is that Jim over there? Ooh, there's merch. Okay, let's check out what's over. Let's check out what's over here.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Free achievement. Ooh. Free, new and easy achievement. Get here. I'm here. Where's my achievement? Free achievement. Get yours right now. Pulling the lever. Receive your achievement. No more steps. It just works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Let me try again. pull me, please. I must have the achievement. No. Empty crevice here, okay.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Collectibles.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Should I just keep... Okay, we're moving. What? There's 6 of them? Collect them all. Okay.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Infinite hole. It won't end. Okay. Oh, what's over here?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday?
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Thanks a lot.
Actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Okay, I saw the collectible... Jump circle. Wait, we already did the jump circle though, didn't we? We haven't gone to the infinite hole though. Ooh, there's a jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Oh, we can't jump. No. What a ripoff. Opening rim, depth, surrounding area.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Alright. We got all the way here to begin with. Geronimo!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Press G to return to the surface.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
I don't see a reason. I mean, it's infinite, right? We can just stick here for a while.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole?
To be certain, it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is.
That's
Is
what
it
she said.
Infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Oh, fuck.
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
I didn't say anything at all, buddy.
Put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite.
He wasn't even that.
If that works for you,
He wasn't even that
then go
infinite,
ahead and
man.
press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole, and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
All right.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
I wonder where all the other collectibles are. I know they said they were meaningless, but still want to find them. Mostly infinite hole. The reassurance bucket. Let's check that out.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the
Just give me the bucket
perfect
already.
solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Gee, thanks.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Did we just hold on to the bucket for the rest of the game now? Okay.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Okay, where else can I go? Oh, go up there, right? Sang's World Champion. Hey, let me in. Now I don't know if the bucket's working anymore. Seen this spot. We went there. There. There and there. Jump hall, this map, free achievement. Okay. Merch. Thanks World Champions. Office decorations. Epilogue. Exit. Exit is right behind us. Not here. Okay, I'm guessing I'm taking the bucket with me. Okay. I'm disappointed though we couldn't go to the settings world champ. Let me check the door one more time. I guess it wasn't meant to be. I wonder if it's possible just to get another collectible by going in here. Nope. Locked out. Okay, let's keep going.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Do I have to give up the bucket?
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
Hey, Eva.
And I do very much enjoy creating gags.
Welcome
but
to the
they don't
chat.
add up
Not
to
much,
anything.
just enjoying Stanley Parable.
I wanted more than
Ultra
anything
Deluxe.
to create a sequel that
Welcome to
would
the chat.
capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Poggers, look at that. Fancy now. Alright, begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee
decorations.
number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Yeah, let's check out these decorations we got now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
With bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Why did I pick this up again?
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
I have a bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We'll do this one time, yeah.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait. Now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
What?
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Ooh, can we go downstairs now?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Ooh. Collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
The sense of pride and accomplishment. Ugh.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all.
Come on,
That's
bucket.
strange, Stanley thought.
Say something.
Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations
Okay, the
Stanley
bucket's
might
gone now.
experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket! Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
No, where's my bucket?
Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then
Bucket,
suddenly,
come back to
he
me.
was dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
What?
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
I am the bucket.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted
remember
by
her
the
now.
body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Figurine Finders Committee. Meeting room, okay. Maybe we'll find more collectibles in there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
How do we find them? There will be a reward for finding them all. Mission status inside. Sequel exhibit. Stairs. Okay. Alright, so this is like tips of where to find the other ones. A large room, lots of boxes. That could be any room. Some are both red and blue. Nearby, a fireplace. A private but smelly place for an important person. Trust the completionist instinct. Good luck.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive bathroom. Ooh.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Extreme bathrooms. Okay. Oh, what's over here? An elevator. Can we go up? Are we there yet? This is going on a little bit. I think I hear the narrator humming in the background. Thanks for the follow, Eve, that creativity, Ryan. Nah, you don't need... I appreciate the offer, but this is just a small time channel. No need to worry about. I appreciate, like, I respect the grind, but I'm not interested. Sorry about that. We've already been in the bathroom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
I wonder if there's a figurine here.
Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings.
I don't think I can even actually do
desperate
that.
for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Where's the figurine? There's a fireplace right
Stanley
here.
just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
All right. 2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Aha, here we go.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I wonder if there are any changes here.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We might as well take this branch here.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Well, now I'm even more curious.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Geronimo. Wow. This is different.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, uncovering the eyeballs from a blind man.
Let's not make this awkward,
So he resigned
Ryan.
and willingly
I'm just not
accepted
interested.
this violent end to his brief
I'm
and
sorry,
shallow
I'm just not
life.
interested.
Farewell, Stanley.
I respect the grind, but no need for new graphics here.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Rip. Oh. I think this is one of the original endings. Yeah.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Yeah. We've already been... Well, I've already seen this part of the game in the original version. Okay. Exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
If I recall correctly, you actually do have to manually restart the game from here. Let's see. Hey Sam, welcome back to the chat. Let's see, begin the game again. Alright. Let's see if we can find some more new content. Not much, sir.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's
Just trying to find all the new
If
content
I
in the
can
game.
make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Let me check the figurines. Oh, let me grab my
Stanley
bucket.
lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
All right, well, we'll continue down this path here because I just want to check the figurines.
And entered the door on his left.
Yeah, collectibles, bro. Poggers. Okay. Okay. There's a large room with a bunch of boxes, and some are red and blue. Okay. Huh. I remember that part of the game, but well, the boxes can be anything really. There's a lot of boxes in this game. Red and blue. I think it's actually on the other path. No. Can't go that way anymore. Okay. Now that I have the bucket modifier with me, let's see what happens when we go up here.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let me try here. Let me take the elevator down this time. There we go. Ah. Didn't change anything.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce
I
the
could probably
dark
drop
clouds
in.
of confusion and chaos. It would be with him.
We've been playing
always.
this for about 2 hours anyway.
The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
I don't think there's anything else. Okay, 2845. Move forward.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical
Yes, the bucket. We'll just follow the correct path with the bucket now. Oh wait, what happens if we take the bucket to the escape route also?
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be okay. We have bucket. It's all good.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's go, bucket.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
Even the bucket?
The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's okay, bucket.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter,
his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he
I
could
wonder if
trust
they
no
just
one
randomly chose
except
the
for
bucket as an
bucket.
object, or if they're familiar with the whole "I has bucket" memes from the early 2000s.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket
What about
would
buckets?
dismantle the controls for
You
good.
forgot about that.
Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Yeah, brother, let's do it. January 6th up in here. Gotta dismantle the system. System power.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
That's
Both of
oddly
them wanted
specific.
to begin
So.
watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Wait, what?
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was
It might
one
work
they'd
for a
lived
Christopher
together,
Nolan movie, actually.
with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
Huh?
What? Wait. What was happening?
No,
Why had
bucket.
the door stopped?
What are we gonna do?
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence
Debated.
filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the
No!
facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms.
How dare
Not
they?
while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Is that the bucket ending then?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
All right.
Stanley decided
Let's
to
see if
go
we can
to
get
the
these
meeting room.
collectibles.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All right. Let's try going to the right now. Are we even allowed to go to the right? This hall was here before, right? Yeah, I think I saw this one. Yeah, this hall's been here before.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
I should have kept the bucket with me now that I think about it.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be
Let's check
difficult,
out this
but
previous
the
ending
fact
from
is that
the
story
original
has
game,
been
though.
about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
I think this might get me to the
Really?
I was in the
The red
middle
and
of
blue
something.
door.
Do you have
I think it was on this
zero
side.
consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
More if there's any modifications now that this is deluxe edition now. Ultra deluxe, I mean.
Now
Aha,
listen
here they are.
carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through
Aha,
the red
collectible.
door.
Found.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figurines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have.
Oh man, imagine all
none
the
of
pride
them.
and accomplishment.
And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figurines. None of us can.
And that's when we beat the game, for sure. Okay. The red pill or the blue pill? Let's see. Red pilled.
Oh, thank God you are willing to
All
listen
right.
to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for?
Is this still original content? I think it's the original content, yeah. Oh, I think I remember this part now.
Here, yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel
Oh, I should bring the
happy.
bucket back here. That'd be fun.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Gotta bring my friend.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
I don't see any air
Please,
path.
no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Do it. Ah!
No!
Ow, my knees.
Thank God you lived. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Eat.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
I just want to get back to the new content.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
I'm trying to figure out,
But I
though,
guess
the
that was
last
too
hint
much to
was
ask.
a place with a lot of boxes.
Looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
There's like boxes all over the game, though. I'm not sure which one specifically it was.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Okay. Oh, this is different.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh,
The
bucket, there you are.
confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Was there anything else on the right we could have done? Let's see. We can go through the blue door.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
They literally
Yes,
just have to go through the
Stanley
entire
thought to
script from the
himself.
first game and
Yes,
add a
perhaps it
bucket
truly
modifier
was.
to the script.
How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
We can go down here.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Ooh.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
What?
The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley.
What?
Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
You don't like the new
Yes,
character?
I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay. Ooh, Broom Closet, you're still here. Okay. Alright, Adventure Line. We'll see what you have to offer.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, these are boxes. Yeah. Let's see. Are these the boxes we're looking for, though? That's the question. This music's kind of loud.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
They're using the source engine blank assets even though they're using Unity now. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is the same sound effect you heard for walking way back in CS 1.6 also. I mean, I guess Valve doesn't own those assets actually. They probably got them somewhere else, so it's not a big deal, I guess. Can't open this? Oh. Just shooting. Alright, Adventure Line. What do you got for me this time? Got more filing cabinets.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
What? No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
Let me out.
This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Oh no.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
This is a bit much just for destroying one bucket, don't you think?
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
How do I save the bucket?
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. We have to get Bucket out of here.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters?
No, it's locked too,
Well,
I
you
think.
see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the
can't
Bucket
sacrifice
Destroyer
Bucket
until you
Coon.
crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
I'll never sacrifice Bucket Coon. The hell?
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
How come I barely introduced him? We don't even know his backstory. Bucket and me on our hand, we've had like 30 minutes of character development. Alright. Next path.
All of his co-workers were
Let me
gone.
check the hint again.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We're in the meeting room here.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Mission status. A large room, lots of boxes. It's so unspecific. We might need to save that for the next stream then. Finding the final figurine. Well, without the bucket with me now, I don't think we're gonna have anything interesting to do.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I think at this point, it's just like classic Stanley Parable now. Let me check actually. Can we go through the elevator in here? Is the bathroom still here? Yeah. Here's the bathroom. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Okay. Just going through the elevator doing anything at this point. Back in the same room. How about going up? I waited here like a really long time last time. I don't know if it actually leads anywhere. And nowhere. Should I just restart from here? Or... Yeah, there's... I don't think there's any other... Oh, I can press on instead of off. Let's try that.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take.
Was it 2,
too
8,
much
4,
for any
5?
man to take. He fell to his... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy.
Come on,
he
bruh. We've been
relaxed
through this
for a few
already.
moments with some calming new age music.
Ah, no. Just let me through, dude. I'm begging you.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door.
We already went through the escape
mind
area
control
once.
facility.
That just killed us, though. I'll see what happens when I press the on button first. I don't remember what happened last time.
The lights rose
the
on an
original game.
enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Where's the skip button? Bring it back.
One of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Hold up. 3. Or did anything happen when we press these buttons? Let's see. 1, 2. 3. Where's 4? We pressed 1 and 2. I see 5 over there. Three's here. Is 4 here then? Nope. Oh, 4's over there. It's so dark. I don't think I have access to 4. I can't see shit. It's too dark. We can't go up there, huh? Oh. No, I can't press 4. No. Morpher's combination. It's been a while since I played through this part. Nothing down here. Console disabled. that did a thing. Ah, fuck it. Alright, let's press the other button this time.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Oopsie.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean,
here's 4.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of
Press
the
any
joke.
key to send
and
power.
believe me, I will be laughing at every second
pull the
of your
table.
inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Alright. Okay, let's find the boxes. Ooh, bucket.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Maybe this is the aerial flaw boxes.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go
Aha,
there.
here we go.
Go to the cargo lift.
I see it now. But how? Aha. Parkour. We did it. Finally. The last Stanley figurine. We have completed the game, guys.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect
so
to be
much pride and
rewarded for the most
accomplishment flowing through me
trivial
right now.
achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Larry puts us back. Ah. Can I go down there? Huh. Where's this go? Whoa! Ooh. This is kind of new. What do you think, Bucket? Yeah, me too.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know.
It's a video game without an audio log.
Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down, it doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes.
Huh?
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful.
Only buckets.
Because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Sweet, we got the true bucket ending? I don't know. The decorations are gone. The narration's gone too. Oh.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those
What?
figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Okay. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Okay. Now what happened to the box? Can I open this? Of course not.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
What? 7 out of 6. Well, this changes everything.
And here was a second Stanlerine. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
8 out of 6.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Was it in the bathroom?
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
What?
Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
10? Alright. Okay. That's 4 more we found.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was by the red and blue doors. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh no! What a throwback. Did you see it? All it needs now is a unregistered Hypercam 2 in the corner.
Takes you back, doesn't it?
I
spent a
hope
long
that
time
music
making
wasn't
that video,
copyrighted.
but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Okay. The illusion of choice. I wonder if it's probably modular, right? Like the way he narrates it, so that way he remembers the order and they organize the rooms, so that way you can recount them in order.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here in the warehouse. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like. And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into
some
the
Matrix
future. Goodbye,
revolution shit now. Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay.
Okay, yes. This spot in the warehouse. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
13. How long does this go on for?
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
The one...
Yes, I love that video.
This is
I
not...
don't remember the pink room, Stanley.
This
Still
wasn't...
no memory of this.
This
one.
wasn't it?
Good room, though. A solid room. These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Pride and accomplishment is all we needed.
This was our second Figly. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Well, here's the exit. Oh, we're back here now. It's a bit different, though. Oh, this is the jump section here. Remember this? Oh,
Look,
yeah.
It's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now.
I already spent all my jumps.
Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Let me guess, it's the same path, no matter what. Yep.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was... I was different.
Yeah,
I used
your
to make
origin
big
story now?
decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then, somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship.
You needed
and
a bucket.
Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good.
Wait, for good?
I enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Is this the final loop? Can't be, right? That goes against the principles of the game, right? Can't be over now.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Let's try the bucket modifier on this
the bucket
next.
was wrong.
This next
Stanley
part here.
took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Gotta trust the bucket, man.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
All right, bucket, let's go.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, Stanley, it's me, your bucket. Press C to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press G to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Press V to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk.
All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't say that. Don't listen to the loud man. Press G for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
How dare you? Press R to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press I to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say?
Buckety.
Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press Y to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press K to go home. To work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. Oh, no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
No.
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. Alright. We've streamed for almost 3 hours. I think this is a good spot to take a break. I'll probably revisit this again. Maybe in the weekend. Or weekdays, depending. I think there's still enough content to... I'll see how much more content there is, but I think this is a good stopping off point. Let me check the achievements, actually. The sequel is now paused. Let me check. I have 36% achievement, so if anything else, we can try speed running the rest of the game to get to... Yeah, because there's one achievement for just speed running the game. Oh, settings world champion is to... The achievement is to modify all the settings in the game. Okay, click on a door 435 times. Play the game for Tuesday. Quit the game. Oh yeah, one of the achievements is literally just to start the game over again. Like literally close it and start it. So, okay, yeah, well, that'll be at least one thing we accomplish the next time we play. All right, so let me quit to the menu. This is actually a really cool looking title. Even though it's not actually Stanley Parable 2. Alright, that's going to be it for this evening with Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. For anyone who's watching, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Sam, for stopping by, participating in chat. Thank you, Evac Creativity Ryan, for the follow and stopping by and saying hello in the chat. Even though you spent... Even though the only reason you stopped by here was to advertise yourself. Any interactivity is appreciated, I guess, but I don't know. If I wouldn't run into other people's chat and ask them if, hey, you want me to do this for you? You can't just... I feel like there's better ways to do that than just run up to people's doors and start asking them if they want you to do art for their channel. I don't know, it just doesn't bode well for me. I don't know. If I was in that situation, I wouldn't do that. And that's just me. It feels... I won't say any more than that. I still appreciate you stopping by, though, Brian. All right. It's just like, yeah, like, just stopping into a random person's chat saying, hey, you want new graphics for your channel? That's not what, like, if I want new graphics, like, I would probably track them down somewhere else, you know? Just have, like, a good Twitter presence, I think. Do people still use DeviantArt? I don't know. But there are a lot of, like, other outlets on social media where you can, you know, show off what you do. And I think if people were interested in that type of stuff for, like, their Twitch channel, they would go out looking for it. You don't have to go onto their channel and advertise it. That's just me. I'm just saying, not to hate on people, you know, grinding out there, trying to, you know, put themselves out there. I get it, but I don't know, it's the same reason why I don't run onto, like, Reddit and start posting, like, my Twitch channel all over the fucking place, because I know it's gonna sound like we're very mean here, but no one goes scrolling through Reddit gives a shit about your Twitch channel. They don't give a shit about your YouTube video unless there's something actually interesting that you're showing off. I'm not going on to, like, any sort of, like, subreddit for, like, I don't know, like, I browse the virtual reality subreddits all the fucking time, and I keep saving all these videos of people posting themselves doing Let's Plays of stuff. If I wanted to see that shit, I would have just Googled or YouTubed it, you know? Like, I didn't go on the subreddit for that, but... Alright, I'm going on a tangent now about self-promotion. I hardly self-promote at all, so that's probably why I'm so bitter about it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem like the right place. I need to stop talking. I respect the grind, okay? It's just not my style, okay? Alright, that's it for tonight. For anyone who's watching, thank you for watching, really appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow. I will be playing more Danganronpa probably, because it's very interesting. We're in the last chapter or two, I think. Maybe do some VR if I have the time. And otherwise, we'll do more Stanley Parable and see if there's any more content left in Ultra Deluxe. All right, good night, everyone. Bye-bye.